You're listening to the One Man Show Network.
Welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast with your host, Aaron Weinbaum.
Hey everyone, welcome to the MMA Fight Picks Podcast. I'm on the road this week, Gulf Shores, Alabama. You can tell by my old man long sleeve sun shirt. But I am here to pick fights for UFC 250, which takes place this Saturday, June 6th at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. That is Amanda Nunes and Felicia Spencer. So if you're on the Periscope, that's the only platform I am on today. Feel free to jump in and help pick some fights, and I will certainly get your comments in there. And sorry, again, I'm not streaming on the YouTube, but it is what it is. So if you are listening to this on YouTube later, feel free to hit subscribe. If you listen to the podcast, hit subscribe, write a review, talk smack, whatever you want. I don't care. But first up in the, Bantamweight division, Cody Stamann versus Brian Kelleher. And Brian Kelleher just fought less than a month ago at 145 pounds. But I will get into that in just a moment here. Let's take a look at what Cody Stamann has done. He just recently had a draw against Song Yadong. Before that, a win over Alejandro Perez. Did, of course, have that. It was the Salute stretch, but I believe that the Funk Master Aljamain called it the Funk Struvel stretch or whatever. Beat him with that. It looked like his leg about came off. Then he's got wins over Brian Caraway. You know, he's got a lot of wins, man. But I'll tell you what, Brian Kelleher, I like what he's doing. He took that short notice 145-pound fight. Now he's coming back down. But he did. I mean, it was just May 13th. He's fighting again June 6th. So it is kind of what it is here. You know, I'd like to think he's got this one in him. He just beat Hunter Azure, Ode Osborne. But before that, you know, he had a couple losses there. Of course, Montel Jackson did miss weight by a couple pounds, or by a pound, rather. John Lineker lost weight to a punch. But, you know, that was way back in May 2018. You know, this is tough for me to pick because, you know, Stamann's a real up-and-comer here, but Kelleher, I like what he's doing. I like he took a short-notice fight. He's clearly been in camp still. I don't think it took a whole lot of damage. Don't usually, you know, he didn't have to cut weight. This isn't like the Tony Ferguson mock weight cut, you know, where he had to go and fight 2 weeks later. Kelleher did not have to cut a lot of weight for this fight. I like Kelleher. I like what he's doing. I like he's coming on strong. He's probably upset in this fight, but whatever. Two guys also I like, this is at middleweight, Ian Heinisch against Gerald Meerschaert. Meerschaert, a fan, of course, of the Iaquinta Realty account. It's hard to pick against him, but we're going to see. We're going to look at the body of work here. Of course, Ian, 2 losses in a row. Fights I picked them both to win. Omari Ashmedov, Derek Brunson. Before that, he has wins over Antonio Carlos Jr., Cesar Fiera, Justin Sumter. Okay. You know, nice little list there. But Jared Meerschaert, this last fight, it looked like he was losing. Comes back and gets a submission in round 3 against Deron Wynn. Before that, he has a loss to Eric Anders, which was kind of a strange one. I don't know that should have so much went to Eric Anders, a split decision there. Before that, a win to Trevin Giles. And then back in, you know, March in 2019, we got a couple of losses there. Jack Hermanson, Kevin Holland, you know, the Jack Hermanson was way back in 2018. Gosh. You know, 2 Admiral guys, but I like what Meerschaert's been doing lately, and I'm going to go ahead and pick him to win the fight. Chase, the teenage dream hooper, many mistake for Ben Askren's son, and Alex Caceres, who many people mistake as Ben Askren's black son. So, again, I do see a lot of Periscope viewers on there. Feel free to say hi, help me pick a fight, whatevs. And for some reason you're not getting through, send me a Twitter message. I'll try to get you there too as well. Let's take a look here at Alex Caceres first. You know, obviously the way more experienced fighter, just won over Steven Peterson back in July of last year. Well, it's been a long time since he's fought, I guess. Before that, he's got that loss to Kron Gracie. Kron really just walked through him. Oh, thanks for the love. I got a super hard in there, but no comment. Before that, he's got a win over Martin Bravo. And, you know, he's not the most frequent fighter. But let's take a look at the teenage was it? The Teenage Dream, Chase Hooper, who I believe, God, how old is he? He's only 20. That's crazy. Only 20 years old. Just beat Daniel Tamer, TKO, Luis Gomez. This is back in Titan. Ah, man. I know that Caceres is the veteran here, but, Hooper's got skills as well. And he seems to have crazy composure. And he's got decent jiu-jitsu as well. For a 20-year-old kid, I am going to go for the upset here. I'm picking Chase, the Teenage Dream Hooper. These are really tough picks to fight, or tough fights to pick, because, there's a whole lot to all of these, really. Eddie Wineland, Sean O'Malley, how do you pick that? Eddie Wineland's been around forever. He's 35 years old, and he's got quite a record though, like 24-13. So he's been around forever. Just beat Grigory Popov back in June of last year, so he hasn't fought in about a year either. Before that, 2 losses in a row. Alejandro Perez, John Dotson, both decisions. Very interesting here. So not the most active fighter either, but Sean O'Malley, took some time off, had a little something in the system. I don't think that was all his fault, but a whole lot of green here. Never seen a loss yet in professional mixed martial arts combat, and just beat Jose Alberto Quinones, Andre Silkamouth before that, Tyrion Ware, way back 2017. I like Eddie Wineland. He's a grizzled veteran, but I'm gonna go O'Malley. And I had Wineland going into this, and I kind of changed my own mind here. So yeah, I'm gonna go O'Malley here. He's gonna outlast Eddie Wineland. So Neil Magny, Antonio Rocco Martin. Again, Periscopers, feel free to help me out here. I know you're there. I see you. I see you watching. Man, let's take a look here. Magny, like, up and down. I think he's a world beater, and then all of a sudden he's just not. But, he's got wins over Johnny Hendricks, a loss over RDA, but he's got wins over Carlos Condit, Craig White, just lost to Santiago Ponzinibbio in the 4th round back in 2018, but did come back in 2020 against Li Jingliang, unanimous decision. But let's take a look at Antonio Rocco Martin. I did pick him to beat Damian Maia, but he did not beat Damian Maia, but he did have a win against Ramazan Amiv back in November 2019. But a lot of green on this kid here. Beat Sergio Moraes, Jake Matthews, Ryan LaFleur. And I got to think, I like Neil Magny. He's exciting to watch. He's had a lot of good wins here in the UFC. But I'm going to go Martin here, the up-and-comer. Antonio Rocco Martin. All right. This fight should at least be the co-main here. Aljamain Sterling, Cory Sandhagen, which is probably for the next contender up after, I can't even remember who's going now, but I know Aldo's on one end of that. Peter Yan is on the other end, but I would like to think that these two, Sandhagen and Sterling, will fight for the 135-pound belt. After that, feel free to help me pick this as well. Congratulations, I did see that Aljamain Sterling just sold a house. Good job. It's all about the realty. Correct? Whole lot of green here on Aljamain Sterling, though. I mean, has not lost since that Marlon Moraes knockout, which is way back in 2017. Doesn't seem that long ago. But wins over Brett Johns, Corey Stamann, Jimmy Rivera, Pedro Munoz. This kid is just looking better and better every single time he's up. And, I like to tend to think he's going to keep that streak, but got to give Cory Sandhagen his due. Hasn't lost since 2017 as well. Got wins over Raphael Assuncao, John Lineker, Mario Batista, Ira Alcantara. But this is Aljamain's time. Long Island strong. He's going to get after it. He's traveling around with his training buddies from Long Island, Marab, I like Quinta, obviously. And I like him to win this fight. This should not be a co-main, but it is. Raphael Assuncao, Cody Garbrandt. Assuncao, best known for beating TJ Dillashaw, but is on a 2-fight skid here. Decision loss to Cory Sandhagen. Submission loss to Marlon Moraes. Does have wins over Rob Font, Matthew Lopez, Marlon Moraes. Of course, Marlon did get that one back, like I said, and has a win over Aljamain Sterling way back in 2017. But Cody Garbrandt, you know, he was doing really well until he wasn't. You know, he beat Dominic Cruz. He looked like a world beater. Then he loses to TJ Dillashaw twice in a row, KO punches, and just lost to Pedro Nunes back in 2019. March 2019, KO punches as well. But he looked like he was tearing it up. Man, Dominic Cruz, Mitsugaki, Thomas Almeida, Augusto Mendez. But you know, it's hard for me to pick him in this fight. And I think Assuncao is going to beat him. I don't know how. Probably, you know, if he stands and trades like he's been doing, you know. I mean, let's take a look at Assuncao here. I mean, he does have some KOs on his record, but we'll see what happens, you know. I don't like him in this fight, and it's a tough one to come back from. That whole division's a bunch of killers. Magny Nunes, this is not for the featherweight belt. It's for the, it is for the featherweight belt, sorry. Not for the bantamweight belt. 145 pounds, defending for the first time at that weight since beating Cyborg Chris Santos. Gosh, when was the last time she lost? It was a million years ago. Kat Zingano back in 2014. Has not lost since. You know, dominating fashion. It was a decision against Germaine Durandame, but Germaine's just tough. The Iron Lady. Holly Holm, head kick knockout. Chris Cyborg, punch. Raquel Pennington, TKO. Shevchenko, split decision, you know, and, you know, Shevchenko is now dominating the 125-pound division. So, if you are just joining on the Periscope, I am picking the main event of UFC 250. Feel free to help out. Just have a little comment or a wave or whatever you want there. And, of course, she does have a win. I'm still talking about Magny Nunes over Ronda Rousey. Let's take a look at Felicia Spencer. Let's say, you know, what it is. You know, there aren't a lot of 145-pound contenders in this weight class. And, you know, Cyborg's gone. She's off of Bellator. Just beat Julia Budd. Who's left? Yeah, I mean, Felicia did just beat Zara Ferran dos Santos, TKO. She did hang in with Cyborg all 5 rounds, you know, unanimous decision. Megan Anderson submitted her quick. Pam Sorensen, this is back in Invicta, submitted her quick. You know, a lot of submissions here, but Amanda Nunes, how do you pick against Amanda Nunes right now? She is a beast. She is killing it right now, and I don't see any reason why she doesn't continue to kill it. And that's it. So if there's no one else here, I'm going to call it UFC 250 this Saturday, the UFC Apex, June 6th. Is that right, June 6th? I hope it's June 6th. Well, either way, it's Saturday, and I'm going to watch it. And yes, it is June 6th. I'll be on the road, but I'm going to have to try to listen to it audio-wise somehows. But that's it for now. Yeah, shalom.
Please remember to support the podcast by visiting the affiliate links on AaronSaysWhat.com.